you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I missed you guys. I know that we've been on kind of like a break over the holidays, and I hope that everyone had a great holiday season as well as a safe and healthy new year. And myself, I have... I'm not big on resolutions, New Year's resolutions, only because, for myself, I try to do it before. Okay, so what I'm saying is I'm not too big on the whole, okay, so we have to start on January 1st. So I think that you should try to ease into your New Year's resolutions. And so what I mean by that is that for myself in particular, I decided to join Orange Theory Fitness. Now, some of you guys might know about Orange Theory. It's they have a few gyms or studios. I think they call themselves studios around the nation. And so I currently am just started it. And now Orange Theory is something that I have been considering doing for quite a while, but I was kind of vacillating between should I do it, should I not do it? And then I did have foot surgery on both of my feet. And so that kind of pushed back me being able to try Orange Theory because I couldn't walk. And so I kind of, took some time to heal. But now that I am able to do more activity and being more athletic, and my feet are able to withstand some more heavier and rigorous exercise, I decided to join Orange Theory. Now, I actually went to my first class the day after, so on Black Friday, so the day after Thanksgiving. And I signed up. I joined the membership, whatever. You can go as often or as little as you would like. They have different membership packages, or you can, whatever. And now I'm not endorsing Orange Theory Fitness. I'm just telling you guys what I did. They're not paying me. They didn't offer me free classes. That would be nice, but I still have to pay. And so this is just something that I did in preparation to trying to have a more healthy new year, since I'm able to be more active now that my feet are allowing that. So I joined Orange Theory, like I said, the day after Thanksgiving, and I had my first class. I fell in love with it. It was a lot of fun because my problem, now some of you guys might have this problem as well, but my biggest problem is not because I did have a gym membership prior to joining Orange Theory, but I only went a few times. Now, and we're going to discuss later, probably either in this episode or my next episode, some information about gym memberships. So I'm not knocking gym memberships because I've had gym memberships in the past throughout my entire college time. My college career, I did have a gym membership as well. So I'm not against gym memberships at all. A lot of people love them, and that's why they're such a big deal. But for me, unless I have someone to go with me all the time, and unless they have the outline and the plan, and now we've discussed this before, and trying to be as productive and effective inside the gym. And one of those main things is having a plan and having kind of, okay, we're going to start here for the day. And if you decide to just have leg day or upper body day or you're having a cardio day, whatever it may have you, but actually having an outline of what you are planning on accomplishing, and like even having like a time limit, maybe like having 10-15 minutes on treadmill for a warm up, then 10-15 minutes just working on legs, then rounding out with some bike work to, cool down, then that's fine if you have a set plan. But for myself, I personally get very intimidated when I go to the gym unless I go with other people who have decided what we're going to do, who are going to push me to do it, who are basically going to be my unpaid personal trainer. So that is just what I need. I don't know. I don't know why I can't just go there and motivate myself. Because like when I go by myself, I'm just on the treadmill for a little while. Then I start breaking a sweat. Then I'm like, okay, let me go do some sit-ups. Then I'll sit on the bike for a little while. And then I leave. And I'm usually only there really like 45 minutes max. And then I feel like I didn't do enough. And I'm just, I don't know. It's just not, it doesn't work for me. As far as that is concerned, but I know that when I do go with people, I do well there. So Orange Theory has helped me because they basically tell you exactly what to do, when to do it, how long to do it. And so I decided to join, like I said, back in November, and I did so that I can ease into getting into a new routine with incorporating the gym into my lifestyle. Now, I try to be as healthy as possible, but like I said, with my injuries with my feet and just trying to get back active as I've gone through like rehab, and now I really feel that, and I'm sure, a lot of people are saying this, especially with the New Year's resolutions, but this is my year to finally be really more active and as active as I want to be, because my feet don't hurt when I exercise anymore. I don't have to worry about swelling in my feet. So Orange Theory was something that I kind of eased into so that by now I'm more familiar. I'm not confused when I go to Orange Theory Fitness. I'm not intimidated. I have a few friends. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're like my best friends, but like how you have your gym friends because you go to the same gym at the same time, so you see them there, so you guys kind of get familiar with one another. That's kind of how I am with my Orange Theory Fitness classes. I have a few ladies that I see, a few gentlemen, and I'm like, oh, hi, how are you guys doing? All that type of stuff. So I think that one key factor, especially for myself, is with New Year's resolutions, because it is going on to, we're in week 2 of the new year. We're at 12 days. It's January 12th right now as I'm recording this. And so it's about a good 2 weeks into the new year. And it's sad because there are people who have lost sight of their New Year's resolutions. And so this episode, I wanted to discuss how to kind of keep that momentum with your New Year's resolutions, ways to keep yourself motivated, ways to, you may have to not give up entirely on your New Year's resolution, but maybe tweak it just a little bit so it's a little bit more attainable, at least as you start out. And so that's my first way, and my first tip is to ease into it. And now, of course, obviously, now that we're into the new year, it's too late to ease into it because the new year has already begun. But it's not the whole idea. I'm really against the whole idea of cutting out everything right from the jump. Now, for some of you guys, cutting cold turkey is easy, or you're so motivated. And I think that's awesome. I really do, because for me, like I said, it's really hard for me to cut stuff like that. And so easing out of it is helpful, and just like slowly. So by the time, you get into February, you realize that you have cut back on so many things, and it's almost like second nature now. February, March time, it's almost, it's easy. It's really easy, and it doesn't intimidate you. And you realize you've gone a few weeks without having McDonald's. You've gone a few weeks without having bread and white starches and things like that. And not just saying, okay, starting on Sunday, I'm not going to eat anything bad. I'm not going to have any sweets, any sugar, anything. And just having salad and chicken, which is not bad. I'm not against it. But I'm just saying, for some of us, especially myself, I have to be more realistic with myself. And if I do that, then sometimes I am able to have that kind of strict, rigorous diet. But then I realize that I fall off the bandwagon sooner because I get bored or I get sad because I'm like, oh, I just want something sweet. And I deny myself so much to where I just fall off completely, and I have my one cheat snack turns into a cheat day, which turns into a cheat a cheat meal that goes into a cheat month, and the next thing I know, I'm looking at November for a New Year's resolution. So keep it locked here. You're listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I have a few tips on how to stay motivated with our New Year's resolutions, and some New Year's resolutions that you may not have thought about, but that we still have time to start. Because like I said, I don't think it's ever too late to make a resolution within yourself to want to better yourself. So keep it locked here. I will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Pauline, and there's a few New Year's resolutions that I think are more common than others, such as I want to be more healthy. Other New Year's resolutions are this year. One of my New Year's resolutions, actually, is to be more confident and bold, and to not, in a good, respectful way, of course, but to be just more bold and to be more of a go-getter, and to stop defeating myself as far as goals and things are concerned before I even attempt them, before I even try them, and talking myself out of trying something, and just being more bold and more confident, whether that's with friends, in relationships, also with just being more confident just in myself in general. It's just something, it is, I guess you could say, a healthy resolution, but it's more of like a personal resolution within myself to just try to be more confident and to be more outspoken. I do. And now some of you guys listening, if you guys know me, you guys are probably laughing because you guys are saying, Pauline, well, you're very outspoken, and Pauline, you talk a lot. You're always talking about something. You always have something to say. You always have, I'm always talking. I'm hosting a podcast show because I always have something to say. But what I mean is just being more confident and being more bold and outspoken when it comes to things that I don't agree with. So if I see somebody and I don't quite agree with them, and not just blindly and more timidly agreeing because I don't want to stir up something, but if I see something that I don't believe is correct, kind of discussing that or bringing it up, learning about it, deciding and having more of an opinion that is more my own. And also just being more bold as far as like with relationships and friends. I believe that people are so worried about what people are going to think about them or things like that. That's one of my resolutions, is to not be so caught up in what people think to where I either am doing things to satisfy them, or B, I'm just, I think all of us have some people around us that are not necessarily that healthy for us, but we stay in contact with them for a number of reasons, because we've always known them, because that's just how it is. We make excuses. I don't want to do that anymore. So that's been one of my resolutions. But there are a few resolutions that I wanted to share with you that I think would be beneficial for everyone, that have to do more with our wellness side versus our health side. Because, having the resolution to walk more, to take the stairs more, to eat more healthy, those are all very common and very good and great New Year's resolutions. But I think that there's also a wellness side that we should pay attention to as well. And so one of those things is to conquer a fear that you have. So it may be, public speaking. It may be to try something. It may be to, I don't know, ask somebody out. It could be to tell someone that you think that they're kind of cute. That can be a fear. Or it could be a bigger fear, asking for a promotion, asking for a raise, asking to, for some of us and for some jobs, asking to be the lead on a project, asking to have your name printed or recorded in a research manual, something like that. Just conquering your fear, whether it's conquering your fear with a loved one, as far as like relationship wise, professional wise. We all have little fears that we have. Maybe it's traveling. Maybe you've always wanted to visit someplace, but you've always been afraid of actually doing it, taking the plunge, taking some time off, or even quitting your job, I don't know, to go volunteer. I want to go volunteer this summer in Tanzania, and that is kind of like a fear of mine because I'm very excited for it, and that's something that I know that I definitely want to do, but I'm just afraid on how am I possibly going to make this all work out. And just conquering that fear and deciding that this is what I want to do, so this is what I have to work towards, so let's do it. And in with that, it could be also strengthening relationships with family members. And that can be a fear for someone, but it's also something that's very healthy and very good for your wellness is strengthening relationships, whether it's with a parent, it could be with a child, a grandparent, just trying to develop, my mom always says, in order to have a friend, you have to be a friend. And it's weird because it's like, but you have to work for relationships. I think that we put in a lot of effort into romantic relationships and friendships, and we just assume that because someone is our cousin or someone is our mom, that they're just going to be our friend because they have to, but that's not true. And I think all of us can attest to that too. And let's see. Another resolution is to turn the phone off, especially at dinner. And I will say, and I will admit, and I have to apologize because I know that my mom is listening to this because I have been texting a little bit more at the dinner table. And so that's one resolution, some are more worse than others, just putting your phone down and actually enjoying your meal and not taking pictures of it. Just enjoy it. Let's see. Another New Year's resolution is crossing something off your bucket list. And I think that that's something to plan, that you could definitely plan for. And because like, for instance, like this year I'm turning 25. And so I have like all these little things that I want to accomplish before I turn 25, or this year because I am turning 25. There's just little things that I want to accomplish. One of them was I paid off a credit card. And so I was very, very excited about that. And my next big thing that I want to tackle as far as financial, and I guess that this could be kind of like my resolution, is to cut my student loan debt in half. Like that's what I'm working towards. And so that is something that you could cross off your bucket list, whether it's skydiving, scuba diving would be actually pretty awesome. Taking a trip to go see someone, going to a game if you like sporting events, or it can be something as simple as you want to read a certain number of books this year, crossing that off your list, or going to different museums, traveling to see different monuments. Crossing things off your bucket list is a great New Year's resolution because, one, it gives you something to plan for and to look forward to. It gives you something to, and I mean, I probably treasure them more than most, but I love experiences and I love memories. And I think that doing something that you normally would not do, that you've wanted to do for a while, or with someone, is just so much fun because that's something that you could never have taken from you, is memories and experiences. If there's a concert that you've been wanting to go to, then let's save up for it and let's go. You know what I'm saying? Cross it off your bucket list. If you guys want to go to Coachella, if you want to go listen to a speaker or a teacher, a mathematician give a thesis, a TED Talk, whatever it may be, cross something off your bucket list this year. Plan ahead. If you plan ahead, then you can also plan finances. You can also plan, if you have children or other dependents, you can plan on situations for them so that somebody can take care of them during that time, then that way, and it's always better. I'm all about the spontaneity of life, and I love being flexible and just saying, hey, next week let's go do this. I love that as well, but I also believe in planning ahead, so then that way you can set money aside, you can set time aside, you can get time off from work. You don't necessarily have to quit a job to take a week vacation, but you need to plan ahead, right? And planning that certain time, looking at certain events that you want to experience. And I think that that's, part of that is a really good, strong, encouraging New Year's resolution, is crossing something off your bucket list. Or it could just be that you want to be able to bench, 150 pounds by summer. I don't know, like whatever it is on your bucket list. Or you've always wanted, maybe you're not from here. Maybe your family's roots are in a different country, in a different state, in a different city, and you want to go visit your home country where your family's from, or you want to go visit a relative in a different state. Cross it off your bucket list. These are the kind of New Year's resolutions that people should be making, because it not only is something that is very attainable if you work towards it, but it's something also very fulfilling. It gives you something to look, like I said, I think I've repeated this like 3 or 4 times, something to look forward to and something to work towards. And then later on, it gives you something to look back on upon and to enjoy and to share. And if you do go visit one of these places with a relative, with a friend, it's something that, it's something to add to your bond with one another. And then also another New Year's resolution that I have for you guys, that I want to challenge you guys, is to be nice. To be nice. And I know that some people are like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm a very nice person, or I'm a pleasant person, but to actually go out of your way to be nice. Now, I'm sure you guys are all very great people and that we're all very kind to one another and that you're not a terrible person, but are you truly doing something out of your norm, that to go out of your way to be nice to someone? Now, it could be that you just take an extra time with a coworker who is struggling to get to, grasp a concept, to grasp a program, or whatever it may be. Or, you have someone, and it could be, depending on your age or whatever, it could be someone where you work or where you attend school that is always sitting by themselves, and just going to sit with them during lunch. Something that is beyond yourself, that's beyond your ordinary everyday to-do list, that is just kind. And I think that's a great New Year's resolution because, one, it's really not that difficult. Well, for some of us, it may be difficult because you could be shy and you could see someone that you want to sit and have lunch with, and you might be a little bit shy. So I take it back. It could be a little bit more difficult, but it's not too difficult to be nice, to smile, and ask someone about their day. If there's someone, or for example, like, because one of your New Year's resolutions may be to be more healthy, so you're at the gym more often, then when you see someone always at the gym, then maybe that can be part of you being nice, is smiling. Or when they're racking their weights back up, racking, you're helping them. Or if you can tell, if you're one who is more seasoned in the gym or on the court, whatever it may have you, and you see them struggling, just helping them. That's all I have to say, is that just being a little bit more kind this year, I think, is a great New Year's resolution. And if my mom, I don't think it's really a New Year's resolution that she had, or maybe it was, that's something that she just didn't share, but there is a gentleman who's homeless that she passes every day on the way to work and on the way back home from work. And so she has taken it upon herself these last few days to bring him dinner, because she drives past him on her way home. And so just buying him food and things like that. And so we've kind of like tried to just brighten his day, especially because it's been so cold and it's been so rainy. She always buys him coffee, little things like that. And she's getting to know him, getting to know what types of foods and drinks that he likes or doesn't care for. Because we always tend to get them, well, at least for myself, when I buy food for someone who's homeless, I always get them something that I would want. But what do they really want? Maybe they don't really like McChickens. Maybe they would have liked a Big Mac, or maybe they would have liked a home cooked meal. And if you buy them coffee, maybe they like Starbucks caramel macchiatos and you always just get them a frappuccino, but maybe they're really into macchiatos. So, and no whipped cream, getting their order and making their day, just something beyond yourself to make someone else's day every day this year, or once a week this year even. So with that, I'm going to cut it to a quick break. And then when we come back, I'm going to share a few tips to help you stay on track with these New Year's resolutions. So keep it locked here. You're listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast. I will be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines, they got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back, everyone. So we are getting ready to wrap up this episode of the podcast, but I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to stay motivated, because according to one study, just after 1 week into the new year, so about now, only 75% of people have stuck with their New Year's resolutions that they have made. And then by the 6-month mark, so by June, less than half of us will stick with our New Year's resolution. So 46%, so less than half of us will still be actively working towards their New Year's resolution. So I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to try to stay motivated this year so we can break that halfway point into the rest of the winter time. So one way is to track your progress. And what I mean by that is if your New Year's resolution can be quantified, so if you could count it, such as you are in the gym and you want to be able, your New Year's resolution is to, by the end of the year, be able to run a, 7-minute mile. Then every time when you start at your base time, so at this time it may take you 33 minutes to run a mile. That's fine. At least at least you've tried. Now you can, track your progress by, let's say by April, let's cut that down to about 25 minutes for a mile. And then by June, we're going to cut that to 20 minutes a mile. So you're tracking your progress. And as you get better, as running a mile becomes a little bit easier because you've been working hard, then you can see your progress and you can look back to January time when it took you 30 plus minutes to run a mile. And now we're here in June and it only takes you maybe 17 minutes. So you pretty much have cut your time almost in half just by the halfway point of the year. So tracking your progress so you could see where you've come from, not just to see where you still have to go, but to see how well you have improved. If your resolution is to be able to bench press, I don't know why I'm stuck on 150 bench press, but if that is, then then working towards that and tracking your progress. Also talk about it. Tell the people that you live with, that you interact on the most daily basis, your loved ones, your coworkers, your boss, people that you interact with often. Tell them about your New Year's resolution so they can help you stay accountable. And again, plan ahead. So kind of deciding what you want to do early, and it's still not too late. You could still make a New Year's resolution. We're still in January. You can even, honestly, I feel like you can make a New Year's resolution anytime, but that's just me. So planning ahead, and especially if one of your things is to cross something off your bucket list, then you may have to figure out a time and a date in a few months, or dependent upon if your bucket list is to attend the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game, then you should probably get on that soon because that is in February. So planning ahead so that you can accomplish these goals, as well as sticking to it. Don't beat yourself up because, you couldn't make it to the gym and your resolution was to go to the gym 3 times a week, or you went to a wedding so you enjoyed some of the wedding cake. Don't beat yourself up. It's not a failure. It is a little bump in the road, and just stick with it. Okay, so yeah, you did have some cake. one, did you enjoy it? I hope that you did, because I love cake personally. And second, getting back up with it the following day or the following time that you're at the gym. Maybe you went to the gym, but you didn't go as hard as you possibly could have because you're just tired. You just stayed up late. And so, yeah, you still went to the gym, but you know that you were half putting in a half effort. Then just sticking with it so that next time that you go, you just go hard in the paint next time. You know what I'm saying? So just stick with it and keep trying. It's okay if you are tracking your progress and you've told yourself by May, I want to run a 12-minute mile, and you get to May and you're still running a, 18-minute mile. Just keep trying. You've done better than when you started, right? And that's what we're looking for, is just always bettering ourselves each and every day, each and every week in and week out, and not forgetting. And I think that's so fun. And I think that's why New Year's resolutions still every year people talk about it and want to do new things, is because you want to better yourself. Say, for instance, your New Year's resolution is to read a book a month. That's a great New Year's resolution. And you're going to learn so much. You're going to expand your horizons. You're going to find new authors that you enjoy. You're going to have much more to talk about, I think, because the more versed you are in literature, the more versed you are in just life. And so if you're not able to finish that book that first month, it was a little bit more dense, or you're just a little bit more busy than you anticipated, it's okay. Just quickly finish reading it and then start the next one for February. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Just because you hit a glitch doesn't mean you have to give up, is all that I'm saying. So that's going to actually do it for this episode of the podcast. I hope you guys have decided your resolutions. If not, it's not too late. If that's not just your thing, you're just more of the type of, I just want to better myself every day, then I agree with you. We should. I really think that we should. So anyways, you can listen to this episode of the podcast as well as any future and past episodes on our network website. That's GSMCpodcast.com, as well as on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.